What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and where I see Tesla's share price going for the upcoming trading week. I'm going to answer the question, can Tesla break $1,000 a share this week? Do I think that's going to happen? Is it actually pragmatic? And where do I see the share price going? Now, before I do any technical analysis or talk about where I think it's going to go, I do have to mention some very important things first. First off, I'm not a financial planner. This is all for educational purposes only, so please do not take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. And not only benefits me, benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you do sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're not only going to qualify for up to 5 free stocks, each worth up to $3,500, but you're also going to have the opportunity to win up to $200,000, as Moomoo is giving away 200 grand for the new year. So if you want a chance to win 200 grand, guys, check out the link down below and deposit $100 into Moomoo, and you will have that opportunity. With that out of the way, guys, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, guys, we do have some very interesting things to be talking about. So right now, Tesla's up about 3.61% compared to, on the last trading day, it was up that much. And right now it's looking pretty good. So I do want to talk about what is the potential for a rally, and is that very likely? So looking at what just ended up playing out, we don't have any like very bearish catalysts coming out for the next upcoming weeks because of the fact that interest rates from the Fed are probably not going to start rising until March. So until we get to March, guys, we do have some breathing room, in my opinion, and that is maybe a good setup for a big run. So what ended up happening right in the past is we entered this downward channel. This downward channel was respected pretty well. It almost resembles a falling wedge, but maybe not too well as of right now. But it's basically this downward channel, and we were respecting it for quite a bit of time. It started off with Elon Musk selling some of his shares, other pieces of FUD that were coming out, the uncertainty in the market, the spread of the other virus, the variants of it, and all these different factors that played their role. There was the Evergrande situation, what the SEC is doing, the Fed raising rates and becoming a lot more hawkish, things that Brainerd has been saying. So all these crazy things have been happening in the market since the year of 2022. Now, some people talk about the January effect for the market, which basically means that based off how the market is basically moving in January, that could be an indicator of how the market is probably going to perform. However, guys, for next week, for the future, people have already been anticipating a drop in the market, right? They keep on talking about how the crash is coming. Oh, it's going to be so horrible. Well, the thing is, when everyone anticipates that, it's very unlikely that that's actually how it's going to play out. So when rates start rising in a month from now, I think that it's going to cause fear, right? People are going to be scared. There's going to be some panic selling, and I do think the market's going to drop temporarily. But can we truly say it's going to be like super bearish for an entire year? I can't necessarily make that claim. I don't truly know that, but I find it less likely now that everyone is essentially expecting it, or at least anticipating it, right? So the way I see it is, in the future, there's going to be some bearish catalysts for March. The future, guys. Be prepared for that, because the Fed has to do their job. Many big banks out there, such as I think Bank of America, they're now anticipating 5 rate hikes from the Fed, and maybe at least 4 in my opinion, but it really depends on the extent in which they do it. So going forward, guys, based off technical analysis, we are in a pretty good state right now for Tesla. So when we look at the market, guys, if you look at the SPY for one has been dropping pretty hard over the last like few weeks. It's been dropping from the all-time high it was at, a couple of weeks ago. And since then we started to rebound. So we dropped pretty hard after we hit 458, and now we have resistance at 450. So what I see forming right here is, what the SPY likes to often do is run up, drop a little bit, then start another big run. So I do think this run is probably going to continue into next week, and I could be wrong. It depends on what the market does, but it's more probable based off this trend right here and this flip right here from these moving averages. So it's looking pretty good. I'm not necessarily promising that we're going to explode overnight, but it seems more probable we're going to see the market start to rebound just a little bit, because it has been taking a lot of big hits. So has the NASDAQ. Look at the NASDAQ, guys. It's very oversold, and it did have a big run, I would say, about a week or a couple of days ago, and we did drop a little bit more before we're starting this big reversal. So it is looking a little bit more bullish in my opinion. So for the upcoming week, I wouldn't be surprised if we slowly start an upward trend. We are starting to follow this upward trend right here, and that is going to reflect on Tesla. So based off this analysis, even though Tesla has been respecting this downward trend for many weeks, I feel like it's a little bit more probable we're going to start running to the upside next week. We did kind of break out of this channel a little bit, and Tesla really wants to run, guys. It really, really wants to. So the question is, where are we going to run to if we were to run? So once again, I told you guys, it's not guaranteed because it depends on the market. And we do have this gap right here, right? There's a gap down here. And I made a previous video about how it may have to get filled. So what's going to happen? I think it's more likely we're going to run up. And if we do run up, we're going to keep running and we may end up respecting this trend line, which is the 460. I'm sorry, the 960, the 960, not the 460, the 960. So once we go to like 960 within that range, we're going to be hit with resistance. Now, what happens is once we get to those high 900s, there's a psychological effect and people want to see it go to 1000, right? There's going to be a lot of pushing and pushing and pushing. And we are looking like we're set for a good run, guys. I think there's a lot of bullish momentum that's forming. I think the market is it's looking a lot better now than before. So when I talk about next week, can we go to 1000? My answer is if the bullish rally really does end up coming, which is very possible. The answer is yes, we could go to 1000. I know that sounds very exciting, but it's not as big of a jump as you guys may think because Tesla, it basically moves like a penny stock despite how big it is. And we do have this inverse head and shoulders that does look like it's about to be completed. So it's like the neckline would be like right here. I know I didn't draw it out, but we have a neckline right here. We are kind of respecting it. So that's an indicator, right? That we had the right shoulder that already formed. That was the drop once again down to like the $880 range, 870. So that means that it doesn't have to be symmetrical. And we're probably going to run up after that. That's what I'm kind of starting to see now. So where are we going to run up to? We could run up to the $1,000 range relatively soon. And it's possible for it to start within the next 2 weeks, if not even next week, if we really see that big run, if the momentum really, really perpetuates, which it most likely will. Because we're seeing the MACD showing some very, very good bullish momentum. So based off my analysis, I'm going to repeat it one last time. I don't truly know what's going to happen. The market's very hard to predict, but it's more probable that we're going to see a green day and we're going to see a lot of bullish momentum. We're going to keep pushing out of this channel that we're in. And it really wants to run, guys. You guys could see it right here. It really wants to run. So I do think it is possible and very probable that we could go to 1000 within the next 2 weeks and maybe even during next week. It's definitely possible, yes. So to end the video, guys, I want to admit something. I could be wrong, okay? My predictions are not always going to be correct because the market is very, very, very weird right now. There are times we can have good earnings and then the market crashes. Earnings may not be that great, then all of a sudden the market runs. It's just so crazy right now. But like I said before, based off my technical analysis, I find it more probable for us to start running to the upside, even if there is that gap that's a little bit lower at 850. I still think we're going to actually run a little bit. So I'd like to see that. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's what I think. So I thank you for listening. That's what I think is going to play out. And I really hope that Tesla has some good runs relatively soon because I know it wants to run. That I thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Tesla to the moon, and peace out.